So, welcome to the You Got It show. I have Michelle Griffin with me. Full transparency, we actually recorded this a couple of hours before we are going live right now at 5 p.m. Pacific on Wednesdays. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Great to have you. And just by way of intro, Michelle and I met at this amazing community called Audience and Income, thanks to Justin and Jennifer Welsh. But we were just discussing whether we met at LinkedIn before or after. It's all this digital age. So I want to have you intro yourself, but I'm going to start off just to give a teaser about a post of yours, which really showcases You Got It. You Got It being unabashedly giving all the time. And I'm going to read this post verbatim, right? So LinkedIn runs on the law of reciprocity. Give without expectation, watch it return unexpectedly. Okay, we're done. That's the show.
That's the message.
Yeah, I mean, but again, what you talk about is you don't need engagement pods. You don't need impersonal, illegal automation. I love that. Shiny objects, algorithm hacks. What you need is really following the law of reciprocity, which is showing up consistently, share insights, serve others, and solve problems. The more you give, the more you get. I mean, you are the walking epitome of You Get It. So again, please intro yourself and let's dive in.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for having me here. I'm super thrilled to talk about giving back. It's what I do, and that's what I am is a personal brand marketing strategist. I have my own agency and consultancy, really, and I help people, mostly people who are either in corporate or just left, who want to put themselves out there. Hence my message up there. And LinkedIn is one of the ways I do it. But we work with branding, messaging, marketing, and visibility, which I've termed my PR. So I'm passionate about just helping so many amazing people who struggle, but just need to get out there and share their story to help more people. So this is a subject near and dear to my heart because it's weaved in what I do and what I help others get out there.
And I see this every single day, and you've been posting every single day. We'll get to that
Yes.
in a bit, right? But let's talk about, you just mentioned something about helping people get out there. So one of the big
Yes.
issues that I know I struggled with this early on is the mental obstacle, which is, do I have anything worthy of giving? So how do
Absolutely.
you, I mean, again, talk about your own journey, but again, the amazing people that you interact with, where how does somebody get into this mode of, okay, is there something that people really want to hear that I have to say?
Well, that's a great question. It actually ties really well into my post today, which the headline was, personal brands are for introverts too. And that being said, for people who don't want to put themselves out there, I said, flip the switch. It's really not, it might be about you, but it's not for you. When you show up online, just saying, I'm helping others, I'm here to help, I'm here to give, to share my knowledge, my opinions. People do want to hear, because at the end of the day, maybe things have already been said. Maybe there's 1,000 other people, millions of other people who whatever, who do it like what you do, but they don't say it like you. They don't have their perspectives like you, the twist on things. I mean, that's what makes us 100% unique. So it's refreshing. Like I follow so many people in the marketing and branding space. Yet, are they telling me the same thing? Essentially, yeah, but not really, because they're telling me their own stories or own twists. So you do have a way to find something that's unique. And if you show up, that's what I help my clients do. Like, what do you want to be known for? Or what are you going to come out and, talk about, be known for? And who do you help? So when it's all about the other person, you flip the switch, make all your content and ideas, it takes away that overwhelm, you know?
Yes, I completely agree. I think that that pressure of having to perform, hey, you're not performing, you're helping somebody else perform, right? And
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
the other aspect of this, which is, and I've asked this for every single one of my guests, right? Which is, and it's interesting to hear their responses, which is, once I have reached somewhere, I'm going to turn back and start helping others, which is quite the opposite of saying, as you're journeying on, you have to help people come along with you, right? So again, how have you, your personal journey, as well as the clients that you help with, which is, don't wait for that first mountain, second mountain, third mountain. As you're climbing, start helping others. Like how does that transformation happen?
Absolutely. Well, a little bit of my journey too, even though I'm in PR and marketing, I like everyone. I mean, I've talked to CEOs, to everyone across the board. I don't care who you are. There's so many people have that apprehension to quote, put yourselves out there. When I became my own entrepreneur and started my own business after leaving my corporate job in 2020, I sat there on LinkedIn, just a little bit before the pandemic, and just was on LinkedIn, seeing all the people commenting. I'm like, but I knew at the end of the day, those people that were getting out there are the ones that were getting traction. So whatever reason, I would sit there and have conversations with people. I mean, it was really weird how I put it out in the universe. Like, I know I need to get on LinkedIn, I just don't do it. Anyway, so one day I said, enough. I am so tired of hearing myself talk about it. I just decided on December 31st, I'm doing it. Now, instead of struggling alone, I put it out there in January 1st with a friend of mine. And I said, you know what? Let's just do this together. Let's start posting. I just threw it out there. Let's start posting every day. Why not? Let's go from 0 to 360 like that, right? Stupid. But here's the thing. There's 300 people in the 365 challenge, at least started. I don't know if they're all there, but there were so many people struggling. So here we were climbing the proverbial mountain, all holding each other's hands, supporting each other. And it made the journey so easier. You weren't alone. And that's why we need a community. And the community is such a huge part of being on LinkedIn. I consider a community and growing your business, your brand, your personal brand. We need people, can't exist without them.
Yeah, and so that brings to a very common thing, which is ROI, right? It's the business lingua franca, and if you're not looking at ROI, hey, you're not a business person. Whereas this whole thing that we're talking about here, which is giving and not expecting anything back, and and it'll come back in different forms, right? So how do you deal with that traditional business oriented mindset of ROI to saying, okay, this is a different world, right? I mean, the returns will come, but not in the ways you expect, not when you expect, but the investment has to continue, right? How do you dissociate those two?
Yeah, because it's work, because it's work, but it works. So I've seen it happen. I mean, within 30 days of just getting out there consistently, each day got a little bit easier. And then you're just bringing people to you that are attracted to that. And, they want to help you. When you help people without giving expectation, it's just magic. They just feel that vibe and that honesty and the transparency and the genuineness that you have, and they just want to help you, they refer you. Because I can say, not just for me, for my clients, people in that challenge, they all say the same thing. I mean, that's why it's kind of like the magic. I say, when you put yourselves out there, it happens. Not only that, one of the struggles are people say, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Who would listen to me? The interesting thing that's happened to me and clients and everybody in the challenge, once you start putting yourself out there and doing this, the ideas flow too. So it's almost like a secondary bonus of doing that. It just works. So you can't listen to me. You just got to try it. You just have to believe it and try it. And everyone, it works. I don't want to call or say it's magic, but it's powerful force.
No, it's so important what you just said, right? Which is, unless you kind of open the valve and have the water flow out, you won't feel the pressure coming in, and really the ideas start to flow in. But the other aspect of it, which is the community, and I look at your post and the engagement it gets, right, and the ideas that flow from the community. So here's almost like crowdsourcing of Michelle's next post coming through the giving aspect, right? Which is amazing. So the other piece, which is really mental health.
Yes.
And this is something I ask all the YouGatters, which is, you're out there, you're giving so much, right? And let's be honest, there are people out there who are takers, right? And they want a piece of you, aka they want your free advice, they want something from you, your time, which is obviously the only irreplenishable commodity out there, right? So how do you put boundaries around what it is that you can do and serve others while still maintaining a sense of sanity?
That's a really good one. And that's actually two parts, because there's sanity and creating too much and wanting to give too much. And I find this with myself. I'm very responsive and a big communicator. So I've had to learn to segment my time and realize saying no is a good thing too. Because I was, a couple months ago, I was really hitting the wall. I was doing too much, saying yes to too much rather, and just trying to do it all. And you can't do that. I know there's people, and we train people to say, oh, let's hop on a call and all that. And I get that. It's just that, time is limited, and it is the most valuable. Time is more important to me than money. Okay. One of the reasons I left my own job, and having freedom is so important to me. So I try to have resources to send people. When people ask me a question, I'll try to send them a resource I have, or I'll point them to when I moderate every Thursday in the LinkedIn Mastery if they need LinkedIn help. Sometimes I can help them, sometimes not, but I don't like to leave people empty-handed, and I always like to try to respond. So sometimes it might take me a while to get back to you, but I always want to be. Now, is that sustainable? I don't know, but I just want people to know I'm here to help them. So at the end of the day, I don't want you to feel stuck or left out. That makes sense?
No, it absolutely, and you touched upon the aspect of time, right? Which is my next question over here, which is the ability to give back should also consider that everybody is constantly digitally and analog distraction all the time, right?
Oh,
And this is
yes.
overwhelm. So in that mode, right, when you're trying to give back, and again, I used to write these long form articles, and now they're like much shorter, right?
Yes,
Even this
absolutely.
conversation you and I are having, it's about 20-ish minutes long because attention spans are down. So again, this ability to have these micro gives, right, versus these long drawn out thesis ideas. How do you help your clients, and as well as how has your journey been to kind of, because your posts are like, if I see Michelle's post, I know I can grab it in a minute or less and imbibe it and then respond to it, right? So and so that becomes a habit. So
Yes.
how does somebody kind of get into
Well, that's just me because my attention spans, unfortunately, are shot. I used to be able to read a long form physical book and, probably reading
I'm with
Kindles too
you. I'm
much.
with you.
Yes. Between Audible and Kindle, I mean, it's just, and, I blame social media, the algorithm, the devices and the platforms are made to keep us on there. We've all watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix. That's scary. But we have to be, it's a necessary evil. So I personally, just me, I've had some pushback on posts when people, I have this challenge right now running a 50-word post. I'm always trying to introduce ideas to help
Yeah.
people. So I have this 50-word post challenge, one 50-word post a week, 4. And some people push back, like, whatever. I just was trying to introduce a concept. It's the user experience. It's
Yeah.
the little micro moments that matter. We're all so busy. So let's make it so easy for people to digest. Let's take away the friction, especially if you're just coming out on LinkedIn, people don't know you. What's in it for me? Why should I read it? Make it short and sweet. And people are maybe more apt to take that moment. So that's just my philosophy. Now, all of them aren't that long. If you are going to do a long post, I say put it in an article, as you mentioned, because people have a different wrap around that, right? They
Yeah.
know they're going to read that. So, but that's clearly me, and everybody's different. But the micro moments matter. You can make an impact in the slightest way. And I see so many companies, not really personal brands, but so many big companies miss the mark. Do you know when like you get a delivery like from Canva,
Mhm.
canva.com, when you do a
Mhm.
print to demand, they give you this beautiful presentation. They give, I am a sucker for all these companies I get deliveries on, and they have beautiful words or captions or inspirational posts. I mean, that's a micro moment. So even us as entrepreneurs and employees, everywhere we can find a micro moment to matter for people. And that's what I advocate. And content's a great way to do that.
And again, just re-emphasize in terms of the way you give. I mean, you go pretty broad, right? Even though when I look at you and say, hey, you help build brands, but it is about, hey, what's your profile headline look like, right? And you mentioned
Mhm.
Canva, and you had this post, I think, about a week ago. We talked about, hey, these are the various ways you can use these third-party software to actually create a presentation or edit videos and stuff like that. So how does somebody kind of go broaden their perspective like you have, saying, okay, it's not the traditional brand building anymore. It's like giving people avenues so they can expand their traditional definition of what they've thought to be their job description.
Absolutely. Well, I have 3 pillars I mostly post on. And I happened to look through my feed today looking for something, and I realized I've been way too heavy on LinkedIn. But one of the things we do in my consultancy, we help people with LinkedIn. So I do a lot of LinkedIn posts. Now, those are going to go raw, really wide, and get a more traction engagement because everyone's in LinkedIn and wants to do it. I also talk about personal branding and content. Those are the 3 pillars, and entrepreneurship. Putting yourself out there, taking risks, getting out of your comfort zone. Those are the 4 pillars. Maybe some and personal sprinkled in there. But here's the thing: if you want to go really wide and have a broad thing, you're going to get more engagement. But when you want to go very specific and narrow, you should to target for your target audience. Like I should probably start posting more to my direct audience. And if the engagement gets a little down, it doesn't matter because the DMs in my inbox or the inquiries, that's what matters, at the end of the day, or people just thanking me for something, that makes a huge difference for me too. Even if one post doesn't do well, we all should realize, look, if you're making a difference to just one person, it was worth it. Totally for me.
Yeah.
So
No, so that comes to my last but one question, right, which is about consistency. And
yes.
you just touched upon it. This is showing up every day, the 365-day challenge or the 50-word challenge. I think everybody needs to be challenged to kind of put yourself out there. But then the other piece that you said, which is really about you take the pressure off once it's not about you, it's about them,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So, any tips on somebody who hasn't been posting or has been posting sporadically, saying, okay, how do you show up every day?
Okay, well, that's great. I was actually on a podcast this morning. We were talking about this, and her podcast was for overall marketers, and they want to get out there, but how when you don't have the time or the inclination. So, real quick on a thing: find what you want to be known for, how you're going to show up in the world, have these pillars, but also baby step. Here I am 7 days a week. Is that sustainable? Heck no. Actually, when January 1st comes around, I'm going to 5 days. Okay. I want my weekends back, but I can't break my streak. I want my weekends back and just to reset. Now, I talk to people, when I say you should post 3 times a week, they freak out. And I get it. So here's the thing. I have a baby step plan to get out there, but for baby step posting, do one a week. I know that's crazy. Start with one a week, but see if you can be consistent, one post a week. Think about it this way. That's only 4 posts a month.
Yeah.
You can sit on the weekend at night, whenever you get that flow, and just write out 4 posts. You're done. Okay. Then engage with it and start in between commenting, liking, doing all that stuff. But then you're consistent, right? Then you get traction from there. Remember, I told you that magic of the ideas. You'll get support, you'll get engagement. That's like the fuel to keep going. And so you can build up from there. Now, ideally, if someone on average, I would say 3 days a week, depending on your goals and what industry you're in and whatever and what you want to achieve, 5 days is a lot too. It really is. It's not for everyone, but put yourself out there with content because we want to know your ideas, your voice, your stories, all that's really relevant. We need more of that.
Completely agree. So last question, right, which is somebody who's never been a giver, right? And I mean, again, I use giver in the true definition we're talking about of, yeah, people who are not expecting anything back. Is what's the first step that he or she needs to take, kind of get into this mode of it's not about ROI, it's not about the likes or comments, it is about that impact that you talked about, right? And
Yes.
how does somebody kind of get into that first step? I mean, is it posting, is it commenting, what is it doing something else outside of?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And it's the analogy. If you've never been on LinkedIn, a little intimidated, and you want to just start showing up and being you and helping and sharing, it's the baby step approach I was talking about, building that pyramid. First, get on LinkedIn, have a good profile that says accurately what you do, and then start liking. Just pick some time. I don't want you to be addicted to LinkedIn. Make it a goal, a consistent goal. Just get on the feed. It's like walking into a room at a networking event or party. You're just going to check out the scene and see who's there, right? So check out the feed, see who, go check out some hashtags in your industry, see what people are posting, maybe start liking, start following, then start commenting. Now, commenting is huge because you're cross-pollinating all over the place. People are seeing you, you're getting on eyeballs. One of the things I love doing in certain hashtags I follow, and there's people who maybe just started getting on LinkedIn and they don't have much engagement, go and click on something relevant with a post that is in your area or interests you, right? That you can give a thoughtful comment, and you're going to definitely be noticed. You're going to pop in their like notifications. You will get noticed, and just start giving your insights. Tell us what matters, or how this impacts, just not obviously good posts, whatever. Because when you're doing creation and people just say good posts, it's hard to respond. Like so I want to always give a thoughtful response, but when people say great, I always just say thank you. Sometimes it's hard to figure out, well, I don't know if they don't want me to talk to them, but just feedback to them. That's important too. So, and that's the thing. And then you'll get the support and start knowing people. You'll grow your community. You're essentially growing your audience before you start doing posting, So I always say, warm up the crowd, warm up LinkedIn, and then start that one a post, and then we build from there.
All right. So there you have your formula, right?
Yes.
And I love the last piece that you said, which is you have these auto, hey, sounds good, great. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, right? It's the bot trying to get you going. But then to your point, if the poster doesn't have any idea as to what it is that caused you to react, he or she may not know how to engage with you, right? So give them.
You'll probably just get a thank you or something, or it's just hard. It's trying to start a conversation, okay? Right. And you want that conversation. So sometimes if I'm, have time or whatever, I'll like on today's post, I did that. in between some calls and stuff, I ask questions back because that does start people talking too. You just want to start a conversation. That's all you want to do with people. Just start a conversation. You're not selling them, you're not spamming them, you're just there to show up, see what they need, just offer your insights. And then there's some posts that are not going to resonate with you, and that's fine too. They're not going to relate to you. So you obviously, in the endless feed, you can't hit them all. Find what matters, find where you need to be, and you will find that place and space for you.
Wonderful. Again, Michelle, thanks for your time. Thanks for everything that you're doing. And I'm still hoping you're going to continue the 7-day post come Jan 1st, but we'll see. Again, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here and talk with you. Always fun to be there and see you.
All right. Thanks, Michelle.